We're in Thailand with Global Blockchain Show, and today I'm with Pratik from EigenLayer. Pratik, welcome.
Thank you, Mia. Great to be here.
It's
Excited.
great to have you on.
Mhm.
Tell me about EigenLayer.
Yeah, EigenLayer is a cryptoeconomic security protocol which allows applications to be built on top of it. So think of it as a set of smart contracts where anyone who has restaked their Ethereum token can essentially build applications, and these applications can be used by n number of users. So the goal of EigenLayer is essentially to build an open innovation layer which allows anyone to build applications and use applications. So and the vision is to build humanity's coordination engine.
How did you end up here? Tell me your story.
Right. So yeah, I've been a marketer all my life. I started on a marketing agency back in 2013. This is Web 2 days. And while I was doing that, I spent about 3-4 years building it until I realized there's great need, or at least interest from my side, where I could probably or possibly be a part of a product startup. This was around 2016, 2017, and I was also around that same time consuming a lot of content. And it happens to be the Tim Ferriss show, where Tim Ferriss, I think he interviewed Naval Ravikant and Nick Szabo. I knew Naval Ravikant from obviously the startup world, where he had built amazing startups, invested in startups, and so on. Nick Szabo, I did not know him. So yeah, I mean, and up until that point, I only knew crypto from the lens of, oh, it goes up and down while people make money. And after listening to that podcast, yeah, it was completely like a game changer for me. It kind of compelled me to get into the space, understand what's actually possible with the kind of applications that are getting built in this space. And at that point, there was not a lot of learning material. So the only way I could go and learn was to go to conferences and meet people. So I did that a lot while I was also backpacking and running an agency. And I ended up catching up with a potential client who, after a couple of conversations that we had, said, "Oh, we would love to have you as like an internal member rather than having an agency." So I think, yeah, that was my that was my whatever life-changing moment. Since then, I haven't looked back. I got into the space around 2016, 2017. I've worked with predominantly infra projects, near Covalent, and now I'm with EigenLayer. I think I was sometime in 2022 is when I caught up with Sriram, understood what they were building. I mean, obviously, super hype project right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, and the only way I could find myself in was when the foundation got incepted. And this happened earlier this year, and that's how I got into the role.
It's really exciting. It's been such a roller coaster. It had like indeed a lot of hype from the beginning, and it set the expectations so high. Were you did you pay attention to all throughout, or?
Yeah, totally. I mean,
Yeah.
I was always glued in. I mean, even before I joined the company, obviously restaked from my own personal assets, but also just looking at what is happening in the space overall. I think EigenLayer actually started during the bear market, so there was not a lot of buzz, but there was definitely a lot of interest that, okay, there are some of the smartest people in the world who've come together and are building something. So from a speculation standpoint, there wasn't much, but the product itself was so compelling that a lot of people got interested. So I think that made me also very much inclined towards, okay, I need to learn more about this, even if it takes, like, I don't know, because I come from a non-technical background. So for me, it was like, okay, how can I make it easier for myself to learn more? But yeah, I think the very fact that EigenLayer is Ethereum aligned kind of really made it easier for me to make sure, like, to understand what is happening underneath. So that was the moment.
It's interesting because this industry, from the inside of it, perhaps not at the user level, there is a clear view that I mean, there's also volume of products, but it's commonly said that the marketing kind of lacks a little bit. Why do you think that is? There's a lot of marketers in the industry. What is the majority getting wrong?
I think it comes down to like who the audience is and what they're looking for. What happens is there's a lot of frothiness in the industry. Yes, there are a lot of marketers, but because there is a lot of frothiness, there's and there is money tied to every aspect of what you do. Then it becomes difficult for marketers to even think about like what are the different things that you can do. So I'll give an example, right? So every every project that you see in this space has at least 5 to 6 different audience personas, which is probably like non-existent in like Web2 space. In Web2 space, you probably only have like 1 or 2 customer personas or audience types that you go after. Uh, in Web3, you have the token, you have the developers, you have the consumers, you have the whatever operators, you have the investors. So I think that's where it becomes difficult to cater to each of these audience types and make sure the marketing is aligned to all of these types. So I think that's like the biggest difference and like a challenge that I've seen. And yeah, I totally agree. There's way too many marketers in this space, but there are way too less quality people uh, who can actually do things and be brutally honest about what they're doing. So that's what's missing.
What do you mean by brutally honest?
Yeah, just like again, going back to the frothiness of the space, right? So you do a lot of crazy things that don't yield into anything. So that's, I mean, so there's a lot of fluff basically.
Yeah.
Like partnership announcements just for the sake of it. I mean, I've seen projects come to me, not just at EigenLayer, but also the previous projects that I worked at. You meet people at events. We are at DEF CON, and we meet at events, and they just say that, hey, we would love to integrate and do co-marketing. But what does that even mean? Just for the sake of doing it, you do those things. So I think that's what I think is a problem.
Do you see like the Web2 marketers coming into Web3 very confident and soon realizing that this is not the same as, say, like promoting or like helping the growth of an AI product or, you know, any other type of technology? Like this industry moves completely differently. Even just the fact that there's like community management, which is something that the other segments of technology don't have. They perhaps get overwhelmed by it, or they start doing that which you say like it's kind of like the fluff, trying to get something done.
The way I think about this is like it's literally a culture shock. When people move from Web2 to Web3, they're not used to such things. Like the dynamism of the space is so crazy that things change in like 2 days or 24 hours.
Yeah, the cycle is also much shorter.
And yeah, even some of the things that you do, you feel that you've done a lot. Like you posted 10 tweets, but those 10 tweets have like 3 days of shelf life. So that's literally nothing when it comes to how much you're pushing hard. But it also comes down to how consistent you are. So there obviously you can think of solutions around that, but there's definitely that culture shock that people get. Not just marketers, like even technical folks. There's like literally across the board, there's that thing where people come into the space, they are like, oh, this is different, and but yeah, and some of them who really think that okay, we are actually moving forward or changing something, they definitely stay, and thankfully some of them have. I've seen a great amount of change in the kind of applications that are getting built. So that's thanks to a lot of people who moved from Web 2 to Web 3 in the past, I don't know, couple of years. The UI has changed, the UX has changed drastically. There's still a lot of work to do, I'm sure, but even marketing, some of the campaigns that I have seen, uh, it's changed. And I'm hoping that more and more marketers come in the space, get the culture shock, get used to it, and build great things.
Yeah, it's getting much better.
Yeah.
Even at the product level, there was a lot of like creative stuff. You were just anything adding on chain on it, and it was a product. And obviously, not everything is here to last. I thought that the bear market would have cleared up more than it did, and in some way this is kind of harsh because obviously we want things to succeed, but there's a lot of people wanting to start products, and it feels like less wanting to join other products unless they're very established. And there's really like a hiring problem at the lower end. Have you seen much of this?
Oh, there's a lot of issues there. It's very difficult to find the right person or the right candidate for the roles that we have, especially non-technical, because there's culture shock, of course, but also there's a need. And this is also a problem of the space because of it being very speculative. Those who have spent 4, 5, 6 years in this space, a few of them, I'm not saying, or the good ones, and few of those good ones have actually like, oh, they don't want to work anymore. They just want to be like consulting projects. They just want to go on a beach and like sit down and not work, be a nomad. So I think that's what's happening. And because of that, you don't get a lot of quality people who have spent good amount of time in this space, who can work for you. Everyone who spends like, and this is again going back to the old saying again in the space, like even if you spend like, it's like the time you spend in the space is like dog years. Like even if you spend like 6 months, it's like, I don't know, 3 years or 4 years.
Yeah.
So that's so considering all of that, I think those who have stayed, it's commendable that they have, but which also makes it very difficult to find the relevant folks. And there's always that learning curve for new people to join in, and you cannot hire them at a level where they have to have some experience. You just have to train them. Some people invest in that, which is good too. Some people, some projects, it's difficult to get the right people.
Even the people that have been in the industry for a while, sometimes, let's say someone that just out of college, let's say, like social media, actually studied something else, let's say law or something, wants to do marketing, has been in the industry, has an active social media, people hire for marketing, and then the issue becomes the lack of understanding, for example, in audience analysis, breaking down like segmentation and preparing something. It doesn't need to be like heavy and robust, like a month research, but something more intentional instead of just like jumping right into it with the latest social media content trends plus latest crypto trends, and then not having like a fixed marketing. So there's no clear brand identity. I've seen a lot of this. Right. Have you seen this?
Oh yeah, see, they're very excited. Everyone who has some kind of a portfolio they've built in college, or they're like Gen Zs, they come up with great things or great things that they do, but when it comes to structure and like having a process, or like you said, the audience, understanding the audience, it is very difficult for them to get past, let's say, a one-off campaign or two campaign that they do, and from there it becomes difficult for them. So it's I think in an ideal scenario, what I would like to have, like, I would love to have a team where you have 2 or 3 of those people, but also senior people who can guide them, who have been in the industry, battle tested, and can
Yeah.
essentially help them get through this.
I agree with you. I think that is the way. I think people should either join a company where there's good marketing already and learn from them, or actually just like spend time watching. There's so much content out. Marketing is very visible, branding is visible, like everything is out. It's very transparent. The industry itself is very transparent. So definitely, I agree. Let's talk about go to market, because this is probably the core problem, the core non-technical problem, let's say. Why is the industry struggling with go-to-market?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is people run after narratives. That's what's happening. People don't think about products or product market fit or even go to market. That's that the knowledge itself is kind of missing, is what I feel. What I feel is they go after the whatever shiny thing that there is right now. So right now, what's shiny? Like AI is shiny. So literally everyone is building AI agents. Memes are shiny. Everyone is building, but not all of them are going to be successful. It's probably going to be like, I don't know, 10 projects out of like thousands that are going to be successful. So it is very difficult for them to understand, like, what they need to build, and think like a product manager, essentially. Like, go through like the basic processes where you talk to focus group users, potential users, just do some market research. There's tons of data on chain. There's tons of data analysis companies as well who provide all of this available. I mean, readily, which is readily available. So I don't think the information is not there. It's already there. It's just that you need to make it useful to yourself so that you get through all of these basic things. And I would also go back. I mean, like, from a reverse engineering standpoint, there's a lot of investors who are also going after these trends, and they just invest in like these startups who probably don't even have, I don't know, like, a lot. Again, this is very common in crypto. A lot of projects get funded without even like going through like a set VC process, due diligence, or even a presentation. I mean, some of them don't even have a presentation, and which is okay if you're building a crazy product, but it that it, the quantity of these projects that get funded in such way is crazy, and that's where I feel the problem starts. So it's the investors, of course, but also the projects who also need to see beyond just building, and just like, or 2 or 3 people who said, oh, this will fly. I mean, this is great. This is a great thing. You go do it. No, I think there's a lot more thought that needs to be obviously given.
There is so much noise in the industry. There's too many L2s, L1s. There's so much going on, which is great, because I think the more volume, then we can learn from each other. There's a lot of collaboration
Totally.
for the majority. But cutting through the noise is a challenge. It is a challenge even outside of Web3. Do you have some advice for any marketers watching?
I think the best thing for anyone to do is just being relentless about whatever you're building. And there are countless of examples that there are in the space. Even when EigenLayer started, I think Sriram was, I mean, right from the get-go, he was very active on Twitter and making sure that like there was enough dialogue happening between him and some of the other people who were talking about the same topic. And also being aligned with some ecosystem, which is also growing. In our case, it was Ethereum. So I think that's what matters the most, being relentless in whatever you do. Even if it's like cold DMing or tweeting relentlessly. I mean, are you tweeting like 5, 10 20 tweets a day. I know there's a lot of indexing that happens towards building, but while you do that, marketing is all about how you're actually positioning your, like, whatever work you do outside to the outside world. And the best way to do is not hiring KOLs, but just be a KOL of yourself. I mean, just be a homegrown KOL.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's definitely something that I would like to kind of suggest whoever is building like a new product and wants to kind of stay out. Be obsessive about whatever you're doing and make sure that you do that to the end.
Yeah, it's interesting. He kind of overlaps a little bit with the intern from Monad. He obviously said like Keone was like flying, doing unscalable things, let's just say. I think the founder not taking like the forefront and being very visible and very present and being there, whatever way or style it is. Like you can be an introvert and be present and show up.
Totally.
I think that is key. I don't think you can thrive in crypto being in the shadows.
You cannot. I mean, and it's not just being active. I mean, you do obviously the tweets, but there's also a lot of learning that happens while you do those tweets. Like how many people are responding to your tweets, or what is the kind of response you get on those tweets. And based on that, you can actually take decisions for your product. So that's literally product management 101, where you throw something in the outside and you get feedback, and that becomes like an eternal feedback loop as long as you're producing more and more content. So I think it works wonders, not just for marketing, but also product building.
Truly interesting conversation we're having. I'm going to have to wrap it up. My last question is there anything exciting coming up for EigenLayer?
Oh, there's a lot of exciting things. I mean, I would start with something that is already ongoing, which is programmatic incentives. We have like the version 1 out, and version 2 would be out very soon. The programmatic incentives essentially rewards anyone who has staked their assets within the protocol and also delegated to a specific AVS. AVSs are essentially actively validated services, so you can pick whoever that AVS is, and as long as you have delegated your vote or your tokens to the AVS, you keep getting those rewards. So the version 2 is probably going to be even bigger and more exciting. And the next big thing, of course, for everyone is slashing. I think slashing is like the basis of EigenLayer and why EigenLayer exists. Yeah, we would be launching that pretty soon.
It's really exciting. For everyone watching, where can they find you?
Yeah, I mean, Twitter is the best place to find me. 0x Pratik, that's my handle. Hit me up.
Pratik, thank you.
Thank you, Mia.